What's up, football family? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, PL Coulter. It's week 9, everybody. We're getting into that stretch run for the final few weeks of the regular season. Hopefully all my family members out there are still being competitive and jockeying for a playoff position. If you need some help setting your lineup this week, stick with your boy. I got you hooked up. All right, now today we're going to talk wide receiver sleepers. If you're needing some help because of injury or because of bye week, I got you hooked up. You may want to take a look at, first of all, Patrick Crayton, wide receiver of the San Diego Chargers. Now, of course, the Chargers have been decimated at the wide receiver position. No Vincent Jackson and a plethora of other injuries as well. So look for Patrick Crayton to get the start again this week against a Houston Texans defense that is absolutely dead last against the pass. Also, you want to take a look at the fact that Houston has a great offense as well, and so does San Diego. So that's a perfect storm to get you that shootout that you need to get those fantasy numbers that you would need. Looks like that Crayton will be a beneficiary of that this week and should be a solid plug-in play. Next, you may want to take a look at James Jones. He is the wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Now, Jones will get the start this Sunday night due to an injury to Donald Driver. Now, Jones himself is averaging just under 15 yards per catch, and he has a favorable matchup as well, taking on a Dallas Cowboy defense that has been absolutely wretched lately. I mean, absolutely horrible. That secondary couldn't stop anybody. They probably couldn't even stop at a red light. And I'm being totally serious here. The numbers do not lie. Just take a look at this stat. Vince Young, David Garrard combined for 7 touchdowns against that secondary. 7 touchdowns. Vince Young and David Garrard in Texas Stadium. So let's see. We fast forward to week 9 and they actually take on Aaron Rodgers and that high-powered passing attack. Favorable matchup for Rodgers. Definitely a favorable matchup for James Jones. Get him in your lineup. Also, if you're needing some help at the tight end position, you can definitely take a flyer this week on Jacob Tamme of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, again, as we all know, their stud, all-everything tight end, Dallas Clark, is out for the season. And last week, making his NFL starting debut, Tamme notched 6 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. Even more importantly, he actually got a red zone look from Peyton Manning, which is definitely a good sign if you own the tight end in fantasy football. Now this week, the matchup it doesn't get any worse than last week. Now Philadelphia, they're middle of the pack defensively, giving up a little over 225 yards a game. And more importantly, they're giving up 4 touchdowns to the tight end position already. So look for that to be a solid matchup for you as well. If Tamme did 6 for 64 and a touchdown, you can expect that again this week at the least. Now, moving on to my favorite segment, our Homer Alert. Now, again, if this is your first time watching the Fantasy Football Show, shame on you. I'm just kidding. But let me give you a little backdrop on what that is. Now, your Homer pick is the player that you play week in and week out, regardless of the matchup and regardless of his production, because of who he is and where you drafted him, presumably in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Now, this week's Homer Alert goes out to none other than Mr. Roddy White, wide receiver of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, of course, if you're a White owner, you can't bench him, but I just want to throw some numbers out there for you. First of all, we know that he has been an absolute beast lately. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month, the first time a wide receiver got that award since Terrell Owens did it back in 2007 when he was a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Be on alert this week, though. This week, White takes on a Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that has absolutely flat out had his number. The stats don't lie. In 10 career games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's averaging less than 45 yards a game and 2 total touchdowns in 10 career games. Now, over 10 games, that's not a fluke. That's not a coincidence. That looks like that is what it is. So, of course, you probably won't bench him, but definitely consider that and temper your expectations. Now, I hope that helps you all get your lineup set for week 9. Wishing you much success and a playoff run to each and every family member out there in fantasy football land. Again, I'd like to say that life is a sport, so always play to win. It's your boy PL. I'm out. God bless.